fine. I also have the Streamer X you can borrow. Like, I mean, there's a million different ways you can get your camera video in.
Yeah.
So I'll just bring one over to you so you can actually set up with the T7i. And yeah, again, it will not overheat no matter what.
It's neat.
All right, we got 3 people in. Hey, I can
Neat
actually
parlor
stare.
tricks.
I can stare at the camera while I'm talking to y'all. It's kind of a cool trick.
See, I usually try to anyway, but it feels weird because if I have to go up to reference a comment, I'm like,
well, I've got all the comments sitting right here. Like everything. It's right. This is so cool. Man, I should have had this a while ago. I wish that it filled the screen a little bit better on the Elgato. Action Popcast. Hello, SR375 in the house. How's it going, everybody?
Good eye.
Yeah, so right now testing out the Deity S Mic 3. SR375 wants to know if you're eating a bowl of cereal or not. A little bit of ASMR on stream.
A little asthma.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should do this. See, I've got a very different view now. It's hard to explain how small the actual video is, so I can't really see what's on screen or not. However, I can see the comments like really well. I like UK in the house. How's it going? A little bit of resolution. Oh, so first I was saying that DDS Mic 3 is here. We're testing it right now. It's on. Seeing what we think of it. I had some pretty positive comparisons with it. So working on that video. I'm gonna try to get that video done before I leave town, but we shall see whether or not that happens. A/B testing on thumbnails is utter trash. I think that's the other thing I needed to. I did the A/B testing on the how dirty is your mic? Man, that video freaking bombed. I don't understand why, because it's kind of a fun concept. And anyways, we'll see exactly how that takes off over time. I'm hoping it actually gets a little bit more traction than other things have in the past. It kind of reminds me of how the video I did on crushing the MXL 770 with a sledgehammer. Which was Liberty Dude. We can see. What's this? We can see the comments right in front of us too. Very good. Action Pop. How dirty was your mic? Was ace. Yes. I thought that was an awesome concept for a video. I thought it was really fun. I didn't weigh it down with a lot of dog shit in the content of it. Yeah, anyways. Love the expressions you made while collecting samples for that video. Yeah, doing the ones at the concert was fun. Like working with Lady Soul. I mean, they were a part of a couple videos, and it was kind of cool to work with her. And she lent me her usual stage mic and all that stuff. That was a lot of fun. I just don't know, and I was actually looking for the video on how much damage. That's what I should search. Damage. How much damage can a condenser mic take? And I was surprised when that thing did not take off. Like, absolutely. It's only got 6,600 views over almost 2 years now.
Best video ever. Vintage U87 versus U87 AI. Which one will die first?
Oh, man. If you can give me a vintage U87 and your U87 AI, and I tell you what, I'll get it back.
Do you think that video would pay for itself, considering the costs associated?
God, no. Yeah, that was those videos, those concept videos, I'd love to do more of, but it's hard when you get that kind of a response. And I know it's mostly because people just it's not expected. I'm not a variety channel, but it's so within the niche, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Action Podcast. I had to call Focusrite today. Has had a tech issue. They were great. They were great, all sorted. The tech engineer knew about who you were, and we got chatting about YouTubers. Nice. Send them my way, man. People from Focusrite. Well, I need to chat with Focusrite. There's a few things I need to get a hold of Focusrite for. Beresford, greetings also from the UK. And Liberty Dude, when do you send those to the lab to see which contagious deadly disease was growing in the growth tests? That's the tough part about it. Like, I wanted, no lab wanted to work with me. And I called around. Labs don't do that. They basically were like, "Nah, we don't do that. Sorry, pal."
Do they
Uh,
know who does? Like,
no, like none of them. They wouldn't give me any information on. Like most of them are in Ontario, anyways. There aren't any like privately run labs that do everything. Right? You're either going to get environmental labs. You'll get but these guys don't want to do like a couple $100 to do some testing on some stuff. They just want to get the big contracts and stuff for like testing for mold and all that stuff, which is disappointing. I would totally do it right now if I had a company that was willing to do it. And I've even checked with some in the States where, I'll mail it out to you and you can't do that. All right. So we'll see. SR 375. I used to have a Focusrite 18i20 that was stolen. Never leave your garage room with a pet sitter. Yeah, no kidding.
ouch.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Also, why would you leave it in the garage? Unless that's how they got access to your house. Does your local high school science class do that? I have yet to look around. Schools in Canada are cagey at best in working with people like me. I say people like me as if I'm like a weird freak. They're a little cagey. Like when we were looking for the bass drum for the cover song, the Great Big Sea cover song, I ran into a lot of people who were like, I don't know if we really want to do that. I'm like, you're just lending me a bass drum. Like, I'll give you a deposit just in case something happens to it. No, I don't know. And I had to find a teacher that I knew that worked at the schools just to be able to work with me. So I don't know. It would be fun. I would have to find a fun science teacher, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Well, see, I don't even know what the process is in going in to figure out exactly what all that stuff is. The other thing I wanted to cover after all this, and we can talk about this probably first. That is that I've got some resolution on the contract stuff that was going around that we chatted about last week with an unnamed company that I definitely didn't out in the middle of that video last week. Now, Dylan,
Yeah.
1 second before I get to that, just clean up Liberty Dude here, or the college you taught podcasting at. The college I taught podcasting at might actually work. I do actually have a few ins there. That's actually a great idea. Okay, Dylan. How do you think my conversation went with the company at hand?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
Phineas says my gain is a bit too high. How's that?
know. One of our gains anyway.
Did you notice my gain? Well, I'm the one that's been talking the whole time.
That's true. I was gonna say it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, I'm a little bit. I think it's unlikely they saw the stream, but
No, they did not.
okay, yeah. So in that case, yeah, I don't know. I would imagine not terribly.
It says Dylan is clipping.
I'm clipping. Am I clipping? Clipping.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like I don't have really any way of being able to tell. Well, with this StreamYard, yeah, it's tough. Thank you for that. Dylan has turned down. Let us know if there's any issues, or maybe turn down your own speakers. So they didn't see the live stream. And when I reached out to him, it was funny because I basically flat out said, hey, there's some clauses in the contract that I feel are ambiguous, and I can't sign any contract with ambiguous clauses. I pointed out which ones they were. First thing he shot back was, oh, dude, I get you. I would never want to actually sign a contract with ambiguity either. So he said, what can we do about the clauses? So we actually rewrote the clauses in the emails.
Nice.
And we have full coverage, and it's pointed out within the contract that they will have no say on the reviews of any Yellow Tech products. That company that I've never outed whatsoever. So yeah, I was actually really impressed. The wording of the contract made it seem like it was kind of like intentional. But I think some of my musings about this kind of being their first foray into doing a lot of this stuff is true. Because
and we did talk about that, about how this is like, all right, let's go in like best case scenario, and then if we get resistance, all right, we'll back off on a few
Am I
things.
just a cynical asshole that just thinks everything is out to get me? Is that my problem?
But I mean, you got to think, like, when you're, I don't know, when you're negotiating for yourself, what are you looking for? Yeah, you want the other person to be happy, but you kind of want to be the more happy person of the two. I mean, if you could pick. And so I mean, I don't know. I think that's just human nature. I think you always go in with your best foot forward, and then if there's issues, all right, back up, back up, back up.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? It's that's part of it, but it's also like there's so much on the line. Like, and I know a lot of people are like, it's not that big of a YouTube channel. Yeah, but it's big enough that it means I don't have to go do a day job.
Yeah.
Right. This channel may make sure I don't have to leave the house and do a day job. So I have a lot of there's a lot of landmines in the way of possibly screwing up a situation like this. And we've seen some creators over a few different platforms this week completely bomb out their careers by doing something stupid. And it's all it takes is one really dumb move. And I mean, obviously, the situations we're talking about with other creators are a lot different than this, but you crush your credibility as a content creator, there's no getting it back.
No.
There's no you don't so like I'm hyper vigilant of that when I'm going into these situations because there's so much of a spotlight on whether or not you're being transparent when you do a review. So much. Like everyone is watching for the slightest choice. I did a review of the Shure Nexidine and people are like, "Oh, this sounds like an ad." It's like I bought it myself. It's not an ad. Yeah, Dr. Disrespect. Yeah. Imalex? Imalex? I don't even know who's Imalex. Oh dear God. Um, I don't know who Imalex. I know what's his name? The guy who came out defending Dr. Disrespect just got banned from Twitch too for some different comments. Blah. Anyways, I did see a response in Discord, thought it was clean and direct. Yeah, and you know what I mean? That's part of the process of making sure you're also not killing your reputation from a brand perspective.
Yeah.
And like that last week when I'm calling her, I really didn't mean to call out the company by name, and that's definitely not the way to do business in this stuff. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that there's I feel like brands, not all brands, there are certain brands that try to get away with some shitty behavior, and they do it because they think they hold the power because they have the product. And that's the one thing that I think people need to become more aware of, that there's a lot of smaller YouTubers that are willing to sign on to some really shitty behavior just because it puts you forward. Like it gets in the beginning, having that product to be able to review alone is such a big deal. So yeah, it's just making sure that doesn't kind of start to infect your interactions, but also at the same time, maybe not calling them out on a live stream might also help preserve my my perception around the industry, which was nice. Outsider Jess, I need to join your Discord. Yes, you do. I need to become. I'm Alex. Oh, I'm Alex. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm Alex is a lot funnier. Our Discord, I need to become more I need to get onto Discord a lot more. I feel like it's the one thing, especially the past little while. It's been so hard to put aside time, and you don't just want to pop in and go, stop, and then leave again. So Liberty Dude, self-preservation on the tubes is essential and transparency is key. Oh, that's Action Popcast. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, it's so easy to do. Transparency. Yeah. Any negative talk about name brands, isn't that a crime nowadays? Well, you kind of, but not in my world. It is for some brands. I do know there's some brands that will blacklist you if you talk negative about them. And I don't shit talk particular brands that I haven't run into a lot of brands that have been really bad. I've run into some shitty behavior from some of the smaller brands, but I haven't run into any bad behavior from some of the bigger ones. I've run into some bad products, and I've had some weird interactions with companies after those bad products. And I know I've been blacklisted by at least one company. So, I mean, whether or not it's a crime, yeah, and like I'm not going to shit talk a brand just because I don't like them. Like they're maybe Behringer, but other than that, Action Podcast. Even my super small channel was offered a USB mic for review. I read what they wanted, felt dishonest, not interested, and gonna lie to my few subs. Yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of that right now. It's but you're getting a free mic out of it. It's like, whoopee.
Yeah, I'll add it to the pile.
Yeah, if a reviewer can't be critical, it's not a review. Amen to that. And I'm surprised you haven't been sued by Behringer. Yeah, I'm sure it's. You know what? I haven't said anything inflammatory though. Um, I even the video that I put out of why people hate Behringer is because it was why people hate them, not why I hate them, and I presented stuff in a way that was, yeah. Um, I think skirting it, but yeah, I don't think I said anything wrong.
And I think too, like when usually when we talk badly about something or someone, we're talking about it in a specific context. Like there's a certain company we talked about a while back because their customer support protocols could use some work when it came to dealing with technical support or any kind of interaction with them.
Antelope
But
Audio. Somebody actually just called them out in my comments today.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
and that's an example, like, but that's we don't have there's an area of the company that could use some work. That's not I wouldn't say that's negative. It's constructive. I don't know that we often come out and go like, yeah, those guys are dicks, man. Those guys are just the worst. Like, I don't think we've ever done that I can think of.
right. Oh, here's Action Popcast. I say free. They said buy on Amazon. They will refund, then pay me £10 for a video review and another £5 for a positive Amazon review. Jesus. Woohoo, you get $15. Yeah, that is dirty as dirty gets. And I got a similar with a lot of these smaller mic companies, and Mono is a good example. A lot of times you're not dealing with Mono. You're dealing with sales reps that they've hired in other countries to try to boost promotions to promote their products. And I've received that for Mono products before where it's like, you need to buy it on Amazon, but don't worry, we're going to pay you back. And then I got one of those in the past too that I completely ignored, but I did know that it didn't actually come from the company themselves. I know that it came from one of those, quote unquote reputable promotional companies that they hire, because companies out of China have a hard time. I know Ceramonic does it as well. Ceramonic hires some of these companies as well, people that don't work for them but work for them to push the product. So yeah, avoid that at all costs, because £15 ain't worth your reputation. Biggest issue with Behringer is the theft of others' tech. Yeah, and a lot of people seem to be a lot of people seem to think like they're like the Robin Hood of gear. It's weird when you look at the comments on that video I did. People are like, no, they're giving us better quality and not charging us up at the nose for this R&D that other companies do. Anyways, oh, that's silly R&D. Behringer, I guess that's supposed to be. Wine, on the other hand, is worth considering. Oh, Behringer wine, on the other hand, is worth considering.
Behringer wine, yeah.
Oh, you Behringer wine? Bengier? Yeah. Anyways, DJ Play Nice, how's it going? They can't even bribe you in a way that's worth it. Yeah, you know what? A lot of these companies don't have a lot of money to throw around, especially the ones that are doing the promotions for them. The company rhymes with heel hound. Zeal Sound. Zeal Sound is yeah, I've never worked with them. I've never gotten an email from them for their products that has been enticing. You can have my toenail clippings for free. Well, actually, you were right. I charge for shipping and handling. Dude. That was worth it. Robin Hood feels to kind of what for they do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they steal from the rich and give to the poor, kind of. Ironically, that was my first mic. Zeal Sound. You said it, not me. You know what? The companies that do that kind of stuff, or even they deserve the bad press. And don't worry about calling them out. Bandrew's in. Oh dear God, Bandrew. That's like collecting mics. Toenail. What do you call that YouTube channel, Bandrew? What's the YouTube channel where you review toenail clippings? I've got some with some nail polish on them. It's I don't know if that's an extra review.
It's a whole playlist of videos.
This one's crunchier than the last one. All right. Uh, so DDS Mic 3. I ran into an interesting problem this week, Dylan.
Mhm.
Reviewing shotgun mics. It's kind of a unique position because shotgun mics uh, aren't exactly multifaceted. You put it far away from your mouth and you pick up a sound with it. What other tests do you think I should do with this shotgun mic? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, doing specific, like, polar pattern tests, like, kind of if you put the microphone on, like, a relatively constant pivot and sort of basically do a diagram of exactly what the sensitivity is like, it's predictable,
Yeah.
because shotgun mics generally have, like, that's the whole shtick, the massive acoustic labyrinth.
Well,
Um,
this one's a supercardioid along with the NTG3, right? They're
yeah.
not hypercardioids. So I mean, kinda. The 18 dB off-axis rejection is what they say, and I mean this is me at 90 degrees. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. Also, I just want to respond. Outsider Jess says this is a wholesome server. Uh, I didn't think it was. Clip castage, nice. Clip castage already exists. Dear
Flipcast.
Jesus. Danny Lightning CSR, how's it going? I should be collecting bounty mics. Oh, boundary mics. Boundary mics.
Yeah,
You know
use
what?
them as coasters, man.
Outsider Jess, I want a shotgun mic, but they're so damn expensive. That's a good point.
They're
Um,
expensive, but they're so useful. Like, I mean, I remember the first mic I ever used just intuitively to mic guitar amps was a shotgun mic, actually, because you can get such varied sounds.
yeah,
Sometimes that's the problem, though. You go to do a retake and you're like, I'll put this in the general area I had it last time. No, you're a millimeter off. It's totally fucking different now.
yeah.
So they're but I don't know, just as a creative tool, I don't know, they're interesting for that. Their directionality gave you some interesting, interesting images.
Yeah. That and the fact that they're not that expensive. This one's $3.99 US. Now I know in the grand scheme of things it's not expensive, but to other people, $3.99 for a mic. But $3.99 for a microphone that you can do so much with. And it's one of those things that you buy it and you forget it. You set it up and you now have a mic for good. The best purchase I ever made was my MKH 416. This thing. 9.99 US. I bought it myself. I've had it in a
That's
few videos.
cheap. It's like, isn't that
Well, that's
normally
US, 9.99 US.
uh,
It's like 1,300 Canadian.
I was gonna
This
say.
this Synco Mic D2, which does not, despite people telling me that it sounds like the MKH 416, it does not. But it definitely doesn't sound horrific. And this is, I think, 199. Like this is a very good mic for what you get. I wouldn't expect this to last a lifetime, or something to go wrong with it. But I mean, Synco Mic D2. The only thing I would say about Synco is they do have some shady business practices as well. Liberty Dude, thank you very much for the $10. Toll tax. Thanks for taking my shit, buddy. Nah, it's all good, man. We're always welcome. Toenails are welcome in this conversation.
Apparently.
Do the shotgun test outside. I thought about it. You see the different shotgun tests outside. When you do distance miking, that's when you can really get more of a feel on what's going on with the shotgun mic. Because indoors, you just get a lot of the room sound, right? Um, and I mean, that's fine. It depends on how far away. Like I think I did a test of 3 feet, and it still sounds pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try that out. Maybe I'll go into my driveway and figure something out. Action podcast. Can a shotgun mic survive being strapped to a shotgun and fired test? You know what? I would try that. But people don't seem to like concept videos on my channel. God damn it. Does the mic claim any water resistance rating? Yes, it does. Water, you gotta be careful with that. Water resistant, weather resistant. Um, I don't know if it actually has a rating or if it just says it is weather resistant. Oh, that's the 3 mic or mic S mic 3S. The S mic 3 I remember reading that on here. Ultra low noise. And also the biggest thing about this, moisture resistant design. So is engineered to withstand moisture, ensuring your audio remains crystal clear even in challenging environments, whether you're working on a blockbuster, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's saying moisture resistant design. I wouldn't put much stock behind that. And nothing against Deity, but that sounds like it can take a humid climate rather than it can take any kind of water.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be careful of that. It's useful, but it's hard to justify spending 400 a mic that looks like a stick. Yeah, but once again, they're awesome. MKE 600 is about 300 bucks. Not a horrible price. It is pretty decent. I've heard some really. I think it's Tom Buck that uses the MK60, or is he the MKH50? One of them. I've heard some good things about the MK60, and I kind of want. My Sennheiser contact has not gotten back to me.
Oh,
Shame. Sounds like a doctor's note. Apply liberally across the affected area. Ooh. The Cinco is 169 on eBay. Yeah, you know what? The Cinco Mic D2, as much as I'm not a big fan of how they operate their business, and they've were caught, I think it was Andrew that actually called them out, caught into a review cycle, I think it was, for looking for paid reviews. I haven't heard about that recently. I did work with them. They seem to be okay with my review on it, so I don't know. 169 is a pretty decent price for a shotgun mic, though.
yeah.
Action Popcast. Dylan, here's a good one for you. Undecided, SM58 or 57 with the pop clip thing. Don't get me started on thinking about shotgun mics. 58 or the 57 with the whole presidential clip on it. What do you think?
If you're never going to record an instrument, like ever, if you're just like a podcaster or some environment where you're never going to record an instrument, 58.
Nice.
Because 58 is better shock absorption. It's still not great, but
Yeah.
has better shock absorption than the 57 essentially has no shock absorption.
Yeah, but you say that, but the 58 has some of the best shock absorption on the market.
The 57 is funny because it's built to look like a handheld micro. It is not a handheld microphone. The 57 was never really intended or designed to be held.
No.
And so any kind of movement, there's no I think they call it like pneumatic shock absorption.
Yeah.
There's none of that in the cartridge design of the 57. The 58 gives you that, and the 58 still gives you most of the sound that a 57 has. There's not a real massive difference, but there are some little practical differences. 57 is a good all-rounder, but again, if you need to hold it, it's not for holding.
Yeah, very slight difference on
Yeah,
that.
it depends. What's more important to you, holding a mic or recording instruments with a mic?
SR375, my new desk has me considering shotgun mic for Zoom meetings. I love the shotgun mic for just like I use the pod mic USB on my main computer, but when I just use shotgun mic any other time for when I'm doing a meeting or like this. I just set up like this. I just sit down and go. And it's so nice not having, because this is usually mounted just outside of the range of this camera right up here. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. The problem is I'm starting to get a lot of shotgun mics, so I'm starting to give them to Dylan now. So here, Dylan, do something with this. I use an NTG3 shotgun for Zoom. You must have good audio treatment in your room. Yeah, I mean, with any microphone that requires phantom, really, you're gonna need treatment in your room. But you also just don't have a completely bare room. Dylan doesn't have treatment in his room, and he has decent audio. Now, there's a couple other caveats. Don't sit in a corner. Don't sit with your back up against a wall. Don't sit in
avoid boundaries.
Yeah.
So if you are going to record in an untreated room, record in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
If you
Absolutely.
can, or as close as you can get. Having carpet, like I got a shag area rug for its density. And it's great as just not only it's comfy on my footsies, but it's it absorbs some of the sound. And then obstacles. There's
Yeah.
lots of shit around here. Lots of non-parallel surfaces that the sound just bounces around on. It's not perfect. It's not as tight as I'd like it to be, but with my lease, it is the best
Not
that
being
I
able
can
to
do.
can't dig into the walls. And you know what? One of the most important things to understand about it is the wall behind you where the microphone's facing. So if the microphone is facing this way, the wall behind you has to be the one that's treated the best. So try to have the most behind you, because that's going to be the immediate back into the microphone sound. Or you want to have like what Dylan was saying, having stuff in the way.
Yeah,
Like just
or like in this case, I'm kind of at one, like I'm the kind of the furthest third of like a 20-foot long room.
yeah.
And so, when I'm voicing, the business end of this is pointed way over in that back corner, which is always open. And so the sound, and there's 2 boxes full of stuff on the ground there too. So that just absorbs bass like you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
And so the mic, even though the walls immediately beside me aren't completely bare, they're treated with nothing. You can't really hear it that much. You hear actually more of the desk than you do that any walls in the room or anything. Just the reflection of this.
Yeah. I like UK. I've added 24 Elgato panels to fix my issues. Yeah, they work really, really well. I still have some treatment to do. I'm waiting until I get back from vacation over July. This right in front of me, I keep wanting. I think I showed on a members video what I've got set up kind of right in front of me, just off to the right hand side is a TV, and I've got an Xbox there and all that stuff. That's all getting moved out and it's going to be treated. And then this whole area to the back corner where I'm going to be putting a sit stand desk there that's going to become part of the background of the videos. That's happening at some point. I'm also putting more stuff up in that corner because that's a bit of a bare spot on the wall right behind me. This microphone's pointed directly at that corner, so that's where it's like, yeah, that's when you're going to start to have those issues. But those Elgato panels work quite well. Danny, water resistant and waterproof are different things, very different.
Very.
Weather sealed, weather resistant, moisture resistant. Ugh. Why not both SM mics? Yeah, right. SM57 with that damn gooseneck mount that squeaks with every movement. Yeah. Yeah, that gooseneck is, I don't know why they made, do you know why they made that on the SM57?
I don't know. Yeah, I know there's some. I've worked with some bands that do this and it drives me nuts. Like drummers that will use it at the end of their mic arms because they do vocals too, and they think they're Phil Collins, and they use it to really get their vocal mic in a specific position. I hate them because they drift and they fall,
Yeah.
and they're not rigid enough to hold a feather. So, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of them. I've never seen a great execution or application for them. I guess I don't know. Like I'm trying to think like, oh, if you wanted a mic in a really specific position, but I'm like, well, a good mic stand will let you do that just by itself. So just get a good mic stand.
No testing running through sprinklers, but maybe weird steam sauna test, sorry. Fully dressed only, great hot summer test. I guess you could steam up your bathroom while doing an off access flush test. That's actually not a bad idea for a company that says that their stuff is moisture resistant. What do you think, Dylan? Should I do like steam up my bathroom?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Hot box your bathroom.
that's actually not a bad idea.
Run the shower for like 30 minutes with any vents blocked off.
The problem is I got to bring my camera into that environment. Well, I guess I can use my phone. So I'll just I'll use the camera.
I don't know, or put your camera in a really clear Ziploc bag.
That looks weird, that footage, eh?
Yeah, what's that little ripple there?
SR375, I'll buy one off you and I'll pay shipping and handling. Yeah, I think at some point I think we were talking about this last week about possibly like selling off some microphones. Yeah, I don't know. At some point, we'll see. We'll see how big the collection of shotgun mics gets. That's one thing, is needing multiple shotgun mics is rarely ever a thing. Uh, it's. Do you ever run into the need of like multiple shotgun mics, Dylan? Like they're not exactly music. Yeah, you can use them, but they're
No, I mean it's one of those things like when you need it, you need it.
yeah.
Like yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of one off the top of my head where I would need multiple. I'm not running, Hollywood film shoots out of my setup, so I don't know why.
If we ever do a full feature movie there, Dylan, we'll get all the boom mics out.
Yeah, or if I don't know if ever we're hired to do audio sound for like a interview documentary or something, we might.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll keep a couple around. Action Popcast. Need the mic for podcasting and occasional backing vox at a gig. So the other question is, on the 58 for podcast. You recommend a foam pop filter? Yes. My studio
Yeah.
is essentially a small treated cupboard. Oh, beautiful. Small treated cupboard's awesome. 58, you with good mic technique, which I don't have because, well, I don't have it when I'm shooting videos because it's hard to have good mic technique when you're focused on the visual. Um, if you have good mic technique, you won't need a pop filter, but you can also get a gooseneck pop filter for it. It's fine. It won't, they're not great, but they're also not the worst thing in the world.
No, yeah.
And you know what? One of the foam noses for the SM58 works as well, but if you're really poppy like me, they don't work as great as a pop filter. But they will take some of the wind noise out off your breath if you do have a little bit of plosive noise. Like I get a lot of fricatives and plosives. You put a microphone directly in front of me, I can even feel it on my fist when I talk into my fist, and it's every sound coming out of my mouth has air. I'm just full of hair.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. No, earlier when we were talking about goosenecks, I thought we were talking about gooseneck mic clips.
Oh
I
no,
think we were, no, yeah, gooseneck pop filters. Yeah, those are fine. I mean,
yeah.
they're standard.
I kind of phased out while you're talking. No offense.
Yeah, that's
I don't,
fair.
yeah,
I phase out while I'm talking, so it's only fair that everybody else fucking does.
SR375. My new desk is also sit stand. I'm actually keeping my old desk. I have actually. Am I? What? I can actually do this with this camera. 1 second. Let's do that, and then let's move this over here so I can see it. So my old setup is over there. You can kind of see I'm playing a video game, Humanity. That's staying. That's my my go-to awesome comfy desk that I like to sit at. Let's take this shit up again. There we go. So yeah, but my Mac is also on that desk, and I actually switch between on the 43-inch monitor. So I'm buying another monitor, another 43-inch, and I'm going to put it over here. I'm thinking about getting the Apple monitor, the Mac monitor. They're like $2,000, but they're 5K and they're fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, they are gorgeous.
Like so nice, but they're 27-inch, man. I'm so used to 43-inch when I'm editing video.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. It would be hard to do that.
Okay.
I bought some cheap compressed acoustic tiles for my studio cupboard, carpet tiles and a curtain. It helped massively. You know what? And that's the thing that a lot of people try to shit on, though. Those shitty tiles that you can get off Amazon of acoustic tile or whatever it is, acoustic foam, they still kind of work. They don't work great, and you're not going to be able to like have a band play in there with no sound leakage. But they're okay for voice. They're not that bad, man. I started with them as well.
Yeah, you don't, if you're not doing kind of full range stuff, if you're mixing, you need to.
No, yeah. If you're mixing, no. If you're
But if
doing
all
a
you're
podcast,
doing, yeah, if you're doing all your shit on headphones anyway,
yeah,
and you're just talking, right? It's just talking that you're doing that room. You don't need that dense material or that much material to at least sort of manage. Like, yeah, if you took those terrible Amazon pads that you could rip with one bare hand, and you know covered your entire room floor to ceiling in those, you would notice a difference. You definitely would notice a difference. Is it going to be an anechoic chamber? No. Is it going to remove some of the more high end frequency, high mid range frequencies? Yeah, actually, it'll do a decent job at that.
It's funny because I'm still trying to figure out how to, because I've saved a bunch of egg cartons. I've saved a bunch of I'm gonna get one of those like double bed covers, the foamy covers that people use, and I want to do a test, but I don't. I'm trying to avoid building a whole fucking voiceover booth to do the test, but I think I'm just gonna have to build the fucking booth. I mean, I'll make videos about it, I guess.
Yeah, get content out of it.
Steamy farts test. Oh, that's good. Fart into the mic. How does it handle the steamy fart? I'm sure I'd lose subscribers. Liberty Dude, this is funny. Aiden's been claiming that TV gaming setup is being moved for about a year now. If it isn't on camera or needed space or something specific, procrastinating is okay. I agree. I would say because it's a large 50-inch TV that it is a massive reflection point. The rest of it is just jumble. So even if I just remove the TV, the problem is whenever it's a job that is going to be like a full day or a full couple days of rearranging and getting stuff, because not only do I have to move this, I have to find somewhere to put this shit. And in this studio, I have so little room to put stuff. Like there's nowhere to put something. I literally stuffed this stuff into a corner just so I can kind of get it out of the way. And now I'm realizing those reflection points are mildly problematic in this setup. Before I put these panels up, that reflection people were hearing was coming from that spot and hitting the back wall and coming right back at the mic. So yeah, it's kind of one of those. I need to have like a week free where I can actually plan out some of that stuff and figure out where some of that stuff is going. I think Sound Speeds is doing a gear selling stream tonight. Oh, nice. Dude, Alan's probably got some sweet gear. Check him out. I would definitely try that out. Hey guys, I want to know, actually, I should touch base with him. Him and I have never chatted. I would love to know what he's going to do about the shipping. That's an interesting prospect. I guess if you sell it really cheap, then people just pay their own shipping. I guess that would work as well. But then there's some other stuff that I could sell that shipping might be mildly problematic. For church school, foam colors on the 58s is gold. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
I got an LG ultra wide monitor SR375. I love ultra wide, but for doing video editing, I need more north-south real estate because unless you're multi-monitoring it, before I used to do a 27-inch for the main viewing screen of what I'm editing, and then the ultra wide was just the timeline. That worked out really, really well for me. I don't know if I'm going back to a multi-monitor edit though. Yeah, we'll see. Has USB-C. I saw a guy cut up one of those net sponge things this week and shove it in the SM57 pop filter, and he swears that made the mic have zero plosives no matter how hard he tried. Legit or BS? It might have. What I would say though, you're going to change the sound of it.
Yeah.
Those sponge thingies, so acoustically transparent sponge or whatever they call it, like this is from the Rode NTG3. This is supposedly acoustically transparent to a degree. There's still going to be some filtering that happens with stuff like this. So if you don't have acoustically transparent sponge, you're going to be impacting the sound of the mic, and to some degrees it can be actually quite a bit you're impacting it.
Honestly, even this, like this, which is at the SM7B, this is not that thick. There's not a lot going on here.
No.
The microphone is definitely noticeably brighter with this off.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it doesn't take much. And when you get something like this massive clown nose,
Yeah.
that definitely darkens the sound. It gives it a warmth though, so I think some people actually like the sound, the way that it makes it sound, gives it like almost a ribbon mic smoothness.
Well, here's
weirdly enough.
Let's do some ASMR for the crowd here. Let's do some
ASMR.
Oh yeah. This is also the sock. This is the Deity sock. At the end, it's a very thin piece of foam. It's not.
Oh, let's check that.
Yeah. Someone want to clip that? That was sexy. That the very, very small amount of filtering of frequencies that, it does make it a little bit warmer. Using a foam windscreen instead of pop filter on an SM58 with it pulled off is just a tad to create an additional air gap between the grill and foam. Oh, yes. Whenever you put these on, if you're doing it for pops, you want to pull it off just a little bit in that air gap, because it basically gives the sound waves another stage to go through.
It gives the pressure a chance to refract and kind of go off and diffuse, because you got to think of it like, I don't know, if you make cracks in your fingers and you blow at your hand and you blow, if you put your hand right behind it, you can still feel the air.
Yeah.
But if you back it off a little bit, I don't feel anything. And so it gives it a chance to diffuse properly. In the same way that when you put a pop filter, like a regular, like a gooseneck pop filter up to a microphone, you don't put it right on the microphone. You back it up a little bit so that, you can let the air diffuse around the mic without going straight into the capsule still.
Yeah. Jess, Outsider Jess, I hate when people complain about them, then never tell people what to use instead of those acoustic foams. Yeah, complain all you like, get it working for what it's going to do. It doesn't matter what you buy, people are going to bitch and complain about it. Today I just had a comment on an NT2A video. Oh, that was a crappy NT2A, I could tell right away. God damn it, man. People get so passionate about their about their opinions on gear, it's ridiculous. Just do what works for you and ignore everyone else. And Liberty Dude's off in the corner chatting with himself. I don't know. Is he looking at the wrong wall? I think he might be looking at the wrong wall. I get about 100 pieces of F Stoppers acoustic foam, cuts out 95% of the reverb for speaking into a mic. Yeah. Liberty Dude, restart your stream. Is he still needed, please, to put stuff? Okay, so Liberty Dude's back. Don't worry. Moving blankets do wonders when you don't have a budget. You need something ultra mobile. Richard, great point. The worst part about that, though, is companies have gotten smart with that and they've started amping up the prices on moving blankets. The heavier they are, the better they are. Obviously, it just has an impact on the sound. You can get some cheap ones that don't do shit. You might as well put up lace. So yeah, avoid the really cheap ones. Get something mid-range. You don't have to go and buy the acoustic blankets, they call them. Just go buy a moving blanket. Any kind of blanket. And worst case scenario, if they're on the cheaper side, corrugate them. Kind of give them some texture when you hang them. Don't just hang them flat. So it's kind of just another uneven surface that will actually help. I need a place to put stuff. Bandrew says put it in the second bathroom. Yeah, Bandrew uses his bathroom as storage. I'm not in that position yet. It's tight down here depending on the season because I'm in half the basement. This is the half the basement. On the other half is kind of house storage, laundry and all that stuff, just on the other side of the wall. The problem is it used to be an old oil furnace, so they built up a concrete brick wall, and I've been wanting to take that concrete brick wall down, but it's a ton of work, and I can't even move my TV setup out. So I'm not quite at the point where I'm out of storage space, and I think I'll just rent a storage locker at some point. Bathroom mic storage for the win. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not using it. I guess even if you are using it, who cares? Everyone, for some reason, my chat was only showing my comments. I rebooted chat, and y'all came back in. Hey, Liberty Dude. Just yelled at the wall for a few. That's okay. We all have those moments. And this is why I watch this channel. You guys are really helpful and doesn't treat people like idiots for not knowing stuff yet. Oh, no, God, no. The only people I treat like idiots are the people that try to treat other people like idiots. And I get called out for it. A lot of people hate the combativeness of my personality. But I really don't like shitty behavior, and you get a ton of it on YouTube. So we try to level it out.
Well, you get a ton of it on YouTube, and you get a ton of it in audio, quite frankly.
Yeah. Audio is fucking horrible.
Very like anybody that's ever taken a peruse on Gear Space, which used to be Gear Sluts. Yeah, there's some hotheads in this, and some people that's like funny. They claim to be so open minded, but the one thing they're not open minded to is whether or not they're wrong.
True. Jerker, also here for the fan service. If you saying my name, I really need to trademark it and turn this into a side hustle.
Jerker.
Yeah, if you can make money off that, you should do it. Liberty Dude wants to know the blank, no nail polish spots as sympathy lines for balding viewers. No, this was my kid. My kid just wanted to paint my nails. And when your kid wants to paint your nails, you say yes. That's what I've learned. You just shut up and be a dad. Stream is for fine. Ooh. Julian Krause says he uses and loves melamine foam. Yeah, I mean, dude, if Julian Krause puts his name behind something like that, yeah, take him seriously. That dude is one of the best nerds of audio nerds. Like, and that's all the love of my heart. That is not a mean, I'm not saying that in mean spirit. Dude is a very, very smart, audio person. I guess that's the best.
A scientific audio person.
Yeah, dude's he's got a lot of intelligence, and he can break down all the specs and all the it's just phenomenal what that guy can do, and kind of keeping his head wrapped around all the numbers. I'm very impressed by that. There are many smartest person in the room personalities in the AV industry. Oh my God.
And they need you to know that. They need you to know that they're like 24/7. They need you to be aware of that. They're, intellectual and technical superiority.
Yeah, I had to this day, I still have 1 or 2 people, I don't know if it's 1 person or 2 people, that dislike every video I put out. And that's fine. Like, it's always 1 or 2, and I'm pretty sure I know which conversation it comes from, and it's the one where I was saying good things about an SM7B, and they despise the SM7B and spam comments over how the SM7B is a garbage microphone and no true professional uses them, and it's just one of these things where it's like, "Dude, relax." But yeah, I don't like the behavior. I think it's stupid, and I think people need to get a life. But teach their own. I don't really care that much. But I will call out shitty behavior when people are. And I've had a few people in my chat. If you guys see any of that, or you got somebody being a douchebag in my chat or in my comments, hit me on Discord and let me know, and I'll go search them out, and I'll block them from the channel. I've done it a few times because we've had some pretty big assholes in the comments, especially whenever I have a video that pops off and I get a larger group of people all of a sudden influx on the channel. That's usually when those people come out. So, Action Popcast is when your kid wants to shave your beard and charges at you with battery clippers while you're on the sofa. That's the problem, not the nail varnish. I've never had my kid do that to me. Pretty sure that would terrify me. I once asked Julian how to measure a noise floor, and he literally wrote a whole essay for me on his free time. The knowledge of that dude is crazy. Yeah, he I wanted, and I know Bandrew actually got the how to measure EIN through him. I believe it was through him. And I've been looking at kind of getting my own test going, and I know how to do it. It's just one of those things of like, it sounds like a lot of work and math. So, but yes, very smart. No matter who you are, we're all at a perpetual state of learning. Better to help each other climb than knock each other down. Some people just love to knock people down. And yeah, I don't know. I like collaboration. I like collaborative spirit. Um,
Well,
I
but and the other thing though is it there is everybody loves to feel like they're at the top of the mountain, but when you're at the top of the mountain, you're kind of pulling everybody up. Like if you're the one that's learned the most, that means that theoretically then everybody has to learn from you. And so with that intellectual superiority technically carries a certain amount of responsibility.
Yeah, and I feel like there's I in the day of the internet, over the last little while, knowledge superiority has really taken off. I remember a day pre-internet before there was, jockeying for position of intellectual superiority. Um, and if you were the smartest guy at the party, nobody like challenged you.
Yeah.
If you nowadays, if you have a YouTube channel that is specific on a certain type of content, there's always going to be people that want to challenge you, and like, but I'm not trying to. I'm the first one to admit there's smarter people than me around. I'm not the
Oh, me
smartest
too.
person when it
Oh my
comes to
God.
audio. Um, quite simply, and I don't like. I'm not. We all have our favorites. We all have the things we like and the things we don't like, and that's okay. And we can all sing kumbaya and be best of friends. My life motto is be the dumbest person in the room. Lucky for me, it's easy to accomplish. Yeah, you know what? And there's very few things in my life that I claim a lot of knowledge on. The irony is I've been trying to put together how to YouTube or how to podcast uh class for the past half year, and I still haven't gotten around to it. That's one of the few things that I do understand is content creation. And that I do have a great deal of knowledge about. But outside of that, like, I have some pretty good knowledge. A semi-professional 8-ball player. I've got some really weird, wacky talents, but I'm definitely not like the best at anything. I'm pretty average. Pretty solid average across the board. The SM7B is a solid mic. It is a solid mic. I've hit a few people with it. I heard my name, a-hole. Happy Friday. CF Wheezy. How's it going, buddy? Long time no see. You heard your name. Did we say your name? A-hole. Oh, you just heard your name, asshole. Okay. I would have picked up on the joke eventually. It's Friday. CF Wheezy, good to see you back, buddy. It's been a while, and maybe you're just kind of sitting back in the corner and not saying anything, but pipe up once in a while. Good to hear from you, brother. In case you're wondering, I actually did an interview a long time ago with CF Wheezy on his podcast. If you want to like kind of dig into the annals of my history, CF Wheezy, go check him out. He's got a podcast episode. I'm gonna say 2021. I would say 2021. It'd be an interesting. I should go back and watch that. See how much of an asshole I made myself sound like. Action Bot, I always believe in the dumbest man in the room in all situations. It's amazing how it helps you figure out who the actual dummies are. See, I spent my life as a truck driver. 16 years, almost 17 years as a truck driver. I have no problem pretending to be the dumbest person in the room because of that. One of my favorite moments in life, and I think I've shared this on stream before, is I was reading a book in my truck and I had my leg up and I was just waiting for my load. They're loading my truck. I put my foot up. I was reading a book and a guy walks up and goes, "What is that? A book?" Still, one of my favorite interactions I've ever had in my life is realizing that there are people in this world that don't understand what a book looks like. So, I mean, as long as you know what a book looks like, you're fine. Liberty Dude, cheers, buddy. Thank you again. Yes, Dylan, I keep myself down with the rocks to avoid such responsibilities. I don't know what he's referencing.
He's referring, people at the top of the learning tower have the
Oh,
most responsibility.
well, yeah, there is.
I don't know. If you're not a dick, it does. Because I don't know. I feel like I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I got knowledge that I've accrued from not having a life for so long. And I'm happy to share that knowledge with people. I'm happy to help other people get up to this point where they also have no life.
But it's also like, have you never been around a child? Like, have you ever been in charge?
Have you never been around a child?
But your interactions with a child, when a child doesn't know how to say a word, do you mock them relentlessly and kick them in the chest?
Some people would. Those people are not kid people, obviously.
They put out one of those, how did I never know this before today? It's one of the biggest things on the Twitter. Every once in a while, people will be like, how did I not know this until today? Or today I learned. It's like, well, not everybody has that specific set of knowledge. Fuck off. And treat people as equals. And if you treat people as equals, you'll get along better with a lot more people.
Yeah, people aren't less than you because you know something and they don't. And you're not less than them because they know something that you don't. Like, we need to figure that out,
Man, before the internet, it was a journey of self-discovery on this. It's fun, man.
True.
See if we easy living the dream. Hope all is well with you. Yeah. Life is quite good. I'm about to take a month off. This, by the way, in case this is a surprise to anyone, we're taking a month off of the live stream. Dylan's going to do some stuff for himself. I've got to go to Toronto while my kid competes and trains for the provincials. So, and might be going to the Youth Pan Am Games. Actually, it looks like we're probably going to be going to Peru. I'm not going to be going to Peru. My wife's going to go to Peru. Danny Lightning audio tech and reviews. According to YouTube, there's only like 3 people who have hit the like button. Oh my God. Please hit the like button. It only takes a second. Yes. Feed a YouTuber. Yeah, those actually really do help, by the way. Hitting the like button really does. Like, Jerker, truck driver. I love trucks. What truck did you drive? I drove them all, man. I worked in the oil field as a vacuum truck operator. That was a Western Star. Mostly what I did was food service, though. So I worked for Cisco Foods. I was an owner operator in Alberta for a little while. I made a ton of cash going up in the Northwest Territories. I did a lot of fun stuff. The SR3. I know. I said that and I realized how much I was going to pay for that. Okay. I realized that I misspoke. Waiting for my load is the wrong thing to say. Thank you, Action Popcast. Just because. Cheers, all. Happy Friday. I'm the same way. I know I'm smart, but that I don't know everything. Yeah, like, I mean, you can be smart at certain things and there's so many things I'm so dumb about. So many things. Dylan, you could probably write a book on how many dumb things I've said to you.
I could write a book on my own list of things that I'm terrible at. And again, like, smart is all relative. Like, there's always somebody smarter than you. There's always somebody better than you at everything that you do. Do not try to be the most amazing try to be the most amazing that you can be.
Yep.
right? Don't measure yourself against other people, and that includes things like knowledge. Like learn as you go, learn at your own speed, do your own thing.
Yep.
All of that, all of those reassuring platitudes that are true. I mean, at the end of the day, it almost sounds like a cliche, but yeah, you do you.
We got to go in a few seconds. Liberty dude. It's a societal norm when you say you are a truck driver, no matter your education, discount what you have to say 100%. And
Mm.
to be perfectly fair, Liberty dude, working in the industry, it was a pretty gross industry. There's a lot of shitty behavior in the industry. There's a lot of shitty people in the industry. It's a very easy job to get. However, there's a lot of people that uh, usually in the jobs that make more money. So people that work their ass off to get where they were. There's a lot of smart people doing that. Actually, one of my favorite YouTubers is an ex-truck driver, Brian Menard. He's actually a game streamer. I love the guy. He's worked in the military and then became a truck driver outside the military. Yeah, truck driver doesn't mean anything. Although, I mean, the percentages. I've known a few of them. Well, you're one of your best friends is a truck driver,
Yeah.
and
And I would say, he's a thinker. He's
he's not an idiot by no means,
no, yeah, he's not someone that you would ever, you meet him and you would guess necessarily that he's a truck driver.
right?
Um, and yeah, to what you're saying, but like I've met a lot of his coworkers and stuff, and like yeah, the proportions are distinguished.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, one of them actually saw me and was surprised that I was holding a thing that looked somewhat like a book. Jerker, Dylan, I absolutely value your humility because I do believe that in the context of this stream, you are by far the smartest person in the room.
I honestly don't think that there's some people here that
Bangs,
know
where's
what they're doing.
Bangs? Where's Bangs?
There's some people here that know what they're doing, and we're all kind of specialists in different things. My audio is not a linear vertical. There's a lot of different directions, as we've learned. There's a lot of like
Yeah,
sub verticals. Like, do I know a ton about podcasting? I mean, I know a ton about audio as
yeah,
a general field, but podcasting is included in audio. So it's like, well, I haven't produced a ton of podcasts. I've produced some podcasts.
yeah.
But there's stuff that'd be like, oh, like standard terminology that's used every day amongst podcast producers. That'd be like, what? What's that
Well,
mean?
and yeah, like I mean, it's judging a fish for its ability to climb
Like I
trees
remember
and stuff.
even like, okay, here's a great example. When I came into radio, right, as in radio production, in that instance, I often ended up being one of the more advanced people in the room. I won't say smartest, I won't say best, but one of the most advanced because of my audio knowledge. I came into that from the music industry. The music industry production space is super technical. And but I remember coming into a radio station for the first time being like, I got this in the bag. Awesome. And then the first day, one of the producers and the program director and I were in the room talking about some strategy stuff. And they threw out the word, like, he said the word, oh yeah, the primaries. And I'm like, oh, what's the primary? He's like primaries and secondaries. I'm like, what? He's like the name of the station is the primary and the tagline is the secondary. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm
Oh, yeah.
stupid.
Yeah,
I'm
there it
fucking
is.
stupid. like every once in a while you have those moments where you're like, oh wow, there are tons of things that I don't know that I don't even know that I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, it's like it's judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Like there's Dylan holds a lot of information over me in regards to audio and sound capture and production. But if Dylan's ever renovating his house, I know who he's going to call. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah, certainly for an extra pair of hands, if nothing else.
there's a ton of stuff, and like
Yeah.
being the smartest person in the room is relative at all times. And as long as you understand that, as long as you know that, Jerker, you'll have a different insight um to the world. My brother can't spell. God bless him. He's sweet guy, sweet guy. He can run a plantation like nobody's business if he's growing pot. But he's also very, very business minded. He's run a few businesses himself. He's a great leather worker. And he'll make you look stupid in a lot of trade stuff. And again, has a tough time spelling. So it's all relative, and as long as you understand that, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to be the least dickish is probably. I'm teaching people my trade. I never put them down and encourage them to ask questions, even if they think it's dumb. It's not dumb if I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Aiden, Dylan, and all in chat, have a great July. Liberty Dude, you as well, buddy.
You as well.
And we're gonna finish this one off. We're gonna go on holidays. I've still got videos coming out. I've got a couple reviews. Porta Capture X6 coming out. I'm going to try to get this one done, the Deity S Mic 3, because I think people are really wanting to see this. Other than that, I got a few other random videos. I'm also giving up on cheap gear. That's one of the videos that I'm doing. I'm refusing anything from the cheap section, the monos of this world. And I have a video describing that. So there's lots to come over the next month. But for live streams, I think I speak for Dylan when I say we will see you in at sometime around August. I'm not going to guarantee when. All right.
Yeah. Probably earlier in August, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
We'll see what the fall looks like.
Have yourselves a great day, guys, and we'll see you then.
Later.